2, 1. Chris, you're in Jackson? Where are you? I can't hear you. Hold that a little closer.
I'm in Salt Lake City today.
Salt Lake City. Down helping the rock stars launch their business.
It is launched.
It is launched. Well, Chris Hessler, give me a minute introduction for Chris so that everybody watching. But I want to remind everybody that right after you get to know Chris here briefly, because he's awesome and you need to know him, we are going to talk about, Chris, your 10X accelerator, both the mindset and the actual accelerator that you developed. And we'll go through that short deck because when you presented that to a live audience recently, everybody was pretty much blown away by it. And I thought everybody out there in our audience would really appreciate it. So tell us quickly about you, Chris.
I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm a philanthropist, I'm a dad, and I'm a brain cancer survivor. That's the 10-second version. The 30-second version is I started my career with the Procter & Gamble company, marketing.
Hold that up a little closer.
I started my first company in my 20s, sold it when I was 29, sold my second company when I was 42, survived brain cancer when I was 45. I have 5 amazing kids, and now I'm building my, I guess they're 4th and 5th company, the 3rd and 4th company.
Right. So listen, Lions, this is the guy. This is the guy that I learned from, and this is the guy that you can learn from. So why plow ahead and do it on your own when you can learn from somebody who's been there a couple of times? Why be a first descent up the mountain when you can follow the guide up the mountain and do it faster, easier, and better? So, Chris, one of the things that I was privileged to watch you develop this year is your 10X accelerator, both your mindset and the actual tool. Before we load up the really short deck here that we have, can you talk to everybody about where 10X came from and why they should even care about that?
Yeah, it comes from a simple place, though, which is we as leaders of companies are going to show up every day at work. We should take some portion of our day and think about how we make this business we're running 10 times bigger and better than it is.
Yeah.
And if we do that, nobody else is going to do that. So who's going to do it? It's up to us as CEOs of businesses to think about the quantum leaps the business can take to get 10 times bigger and better.
Yeah. I think one of the interesting things, Chris, and then I'll load this deck up here, I just want your thought on it, is, some people, some guys are okay with 10% increase. Others are fascinated by 2 times, like double. But what I've watched you do is you've set a bar and you said it's either 10. Why that?
Well, it's a nice round number, and it lets you do easy math. So if you have a $10 million business, why not add a 0 and make it a $100 million business? If you have a $2 million business, just make it a $20 million business. But I think more importantly than that, it's super aspirational. It drives the leader and drives the organization to really stretch, not only stretch theoretically and hope the business grows, but really be intentional and deliberate and figure out the strategies and tactics that are going to make that business grow.
Yeah. I think one of the things I also heard you say was, well, heck, it's almost as much work to 10% increase your business, double your business, or 10X your business, so why not just go 10X?
So, Bill, I'm in Salt Lake City right now. I just spent 6 hours with my 24-year-old son, Philip, who, as you know, runs Wizard Media.
Yep.
The business is 2 years old. 18 months ago, they were selling $5,000, $10,000 brand content projects. My challenge to them was, guys, let's go sell a $100,000 project. This is the same amount of work as a $10,000 project. You just get a lot farther faster, but you do all the same work.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
A year later, it sold a $400,000 project. They're now it's 18 months later, they're closing a $1 million project. But it was all about adopting a 10x mindset and having the confidence that your proposition brings so much value to the customer. They said you can. You said it's not fine.
Totally. And you've actually helped, just by association and sometimes intervention, you've helped Robert and I think through the exact same thing. We're going to help 10,000 men. Why not help 1,000,000 men? And so we've appreciated and benefit from that too. Hey, Chris, give me and Facebook audience, give me a second to run through the techno here while I share my screen, Chris, and then let's see.
Okay.
It may take me just a second. Here we go. We're hoping this goes easy. Not so easy at the moment, Chris, but that's just how technology works sometimes. We always have it working before show, and then when you need it, not so much.
Really good to work. That's great job. If you don't get it to work, we'll do the presentation.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so far I've added it. I just love technology. Sorry, audience. The one thing dependable about technology is it rarely works dependably when you need it to work. But that's the world of technology. But I won't get on that rant. So, Chris, I'm going to try one more time. And then there must be something going on here.
No, we can back and forth.
All right. It's not, oh gosh, just hate to let down our audience like this, but so unfortunately, if you're watching and you want this wonderful deck, I'm happy to share it with you separately if you put your name in the content in the comments section. What you presented last week live at a workshop was adopting a 10x mindset. And what your theory was, it was a simple premise. Can you share with us what that was?
Yeah, so what I've done, Bill, in the last 6 months is really taken what I've spent years doing and put it into what we call an accelerator. It's a short PowerPoint, and it's really a roadmap for any CEO to adopt a process of 10x capability. And I've broken it up into some big buckets. Bucket number 1 is you have to make this a priority. Bucket number 2 is you need to establish a process for doing it. Bucket number 3 is you need to create a dream team. Bucket number 4 is you need to lead a high-impact, low-work process. And bucket number 5 is you need to involve your board of directors. If you don't have a board of directors, you should assemble a board of directors or a board of advisors. Trusted colleagues who are a little bit separated from the business who can really add value.
Yep.
So let's go through all those big buckets.
Yeah.
So bucket number 1 is, as I stated earlier, as a CEO, you need to spend 10% of your time on thinking about how to 10x your business. And this is the same amount of time you would spend trying to grow your business 10%.
Right.
Would you rather 10 times or 10%? I mean, it's really a personal choice what you want with the business. My argument always is you're going to show up to work every day, you're going to work hard to win customers and recruit employees and deliver and get space and do all those good things. Why not build a same amount of effort as building a 10% business.
Yep.
So as a CEO, the CEO has to embrace it. They have to adopt the 10X mindset and say, I am over some period of time with a 10X mindset. So that's the first step. Without that awareness and implementation process, this just doesn't happen. It's a very intentional process. Okay? Step number 2 is you have to say, okay, how am I going to do this? And if you put your name in the comment section, Bill will send you a copy of the deck. And what I've done is I've invented a dream team process where what you do as CEO is you tap a couple key members of your leadership team, 1 or 2, and that's it. Because you do not want to distract your employee base from delivering the quarter, delivering the year. They need to do that while you're working on 10X in the business. Okay? So what you do is you go out and get a couple board members, a couple trusted advisors, a couple consultants who can add unique value. And you put them all on a team, and you congratulate them. You say, guys, you are my 10X dream team. We're going to go figure out how to 10X this process. Okay? That's number 2.
And Chris, who doesn't want
I know where you're going with that, Bill. Everybody wants to be on a dream team. Ever since the '92 Barcelona Olympics, we all want to be on dream teams, right?
Exactly.
So go out and build yourself a kick-ass dream team and think big. Don't think small. Because you'd be amazed as CEOs the number of people you can get to lean in and help you. People love being asked to help, particularly if it's high impact, low work type of work.
Yep.
People don't like to do high work, low impact work. They like to do high impact, low time work. So what you then want to do is you want to set up a cadence of meetings. You want to set up weekly, bi-weekly, either weekly or every other week meetings on the phone. Doesn't matter where people are located. And you want to say, okay, our mandate is we're going to work on this for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, however long you need. And you're going to run a process. And that process is going to think through, under your leadership, how would you go about 10Xing this business? And you're going to ask tough questions in this process. You're going to ask questions like, what do I like the most about my business? What about my business model am I going to keep? You're going to ask yourself, what do I hate the most about my industry? What do I hate the most about my current business model? Okay, what makes it hard to grow? What can I change? Okay, and then there's this all-important question, which is, how do I accomplish my 3 or 5 year goals in 6 months? So you really need to take the blinders off and think radically about your business. And you need to engage in a discussion with your leadership team members and with your trusted advisors and debate and discuss over a series of meetings and start to map this out. Okay? The crux of this exercise then comes down to evaluating potential paths. You want to evaluate potential paths you can go down as a business. And then you want to map out those paths. You're not going a mile deep. Literally, you're going an inch deep. You're looking at what are the key components of this path. And so if you're in the widget business and you're making red widgets all day, but the real money is in black widgets, you want to now think about, okay, let's talk about the future. Let's write on paper, what is the future of black widgets? Okay? And then what you want to do is you want to evaluate, these worksheets are all in the deck that's been built. You want to evaluate these potential paths against some stringent criteria. So you start scoring, and you get relative feasibility against the different paths. Once you've completed all this, what I would urge you to do is to call your board together, and rather than reviewing the quarter's performance, which is your job, if your job is to deliver the quarter, your board's job is not to review the quarter. Your board's job is to help you 10X. My recommendation, and this is what I've had a lot of success with, is call a special purpose board meeting and tell your board, we're not going to review the quarter. I will send you a summary on the quarter. If you have questions, email, or ask me. based on my experience, your board will be blown away. If most CEOs aren't doing this, your board aren't being asked to do this, this is a good board job.
Chris, could you talk? Many of the guys in the audience are probably not going to have a board of directors. I'd say maybe 25% do, but for the other 75%, they may be just flying alone blind right now. Could you talk to them about your very quickly your process about forming a board of advisors, which actually is a lighter weight version of the board of directors, can probably form faster and a lot easier than someone assembling a board of directors?
Sure. So the main difference between the board of directors and the board of advisors is the board of directors have what's called fiduciary responsibility. They are there to represent the interests of all the shareholders. Okay, so they have certain fiduciary obligations that they have to adhere to. Typically, with the board of directors, they need compensation sometimes. Companies that are losing money through an investment stage, through compensation stocks, that are making money with compensation cash. Boards of directors are usually CEOs included, the CFOs will be on the board, might be 5 to 7 total board members. 5 to 7 is a good number for board of directors. So those are at a very high level. That's board of directors 101. Boards of advisors are different. Boards of advisors are typically chosen for their domain expertise. So a good way to go about putting together a board of advisors is to ask yourself, okay, what are the 3 to 5 areas, subject matter expertise that I need, that if I could wave a magic wand, those 5 people would sit around with me every day at the table kind of through those. Okay? So you actually go very intentionally identify those areas of domain, and then you go find the best people to find the building. Okay? Boards of advisors are more informal than boards of directors. Okay? They typically don't meet as a board. They typically are on call or get involved with members of the leadership team to solve specific issues. Okay? But the same thing that I talked about early on in recruiting the VP applies to boards of advisors. Most people, when you ask them to join a board of advisors, they're flattered. And they want to lean in, they want to help. And once again, you can aim high, you can think big, and you'd be amazed the caliber of people you can get to join the board of advisors. In one of my companies, the most prominent person I recruited was a gentleman from Hessler. It's not organizational behavior, and Jerry Forrest. This was in the late 90s. He had just written a blockbuster business seller called Bill Phillips. And
Yep.
I saw him at a speaking engagement. I walked up to him and I said, I think you're awesome. I would like to recruit you to join my board of advisors. And I got it. It took me a while, but I got it. And he flew from San Francisco to Boston twice a year to come help us build a company. So it's awesome. It's the caliber of people you can get. And we gave you some stock opportunities to pay for this flight. And it wasn't a heavy lift for us. It wasn't a heavy lift for him. It wasn't super expensive. So my advice to if you don't have a board of directors is put together a board of advisors. Go out and find 3 or 5 subject matter experts. And then when you go through your 10X process, you're ready to present this to your board of advisors. Use them like
Right.
a fiduciary board. But the whole point of this exercise is surround yourself with lots and lots of great talent who can help you catapult your own talent. Is that helpful?
You know, and I just want to share with everybody that I've been through this, and I'm going through this with Chris, one in a for-profit business and the other in a not-for-profit organization. It's not a business organization. And Chris, we've completed the for-profit adventure to approval by the board, or you got approval by the board for this to take this to another level. And we're currently amidst the not-for-profit adventure, which is an exciting process that you would like to have wrapped up in the next week or two. So I think we've been on it for 4 to 5 weeks, and there's going to be some meaningful production here in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll move it to another phase. Yeah. And I wanted to say, go ahead. I'm sorry, Chris.
No, I was just saying, I'm piling on to what you just said. I've done this too many times, running this kind of processes, which is why I decided to catalog it a bit.
Yeah.
It works. But
Yeah.
like anything in business, you have to be intentional, you have to be focused.
Correct. Well, listen, guys, we're going to let you get back to your running your business. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us for a short time. Chris's contact information will be in this live cast on our Facebook pages, my personal page and the business page. So I would highly recommend that you reach out to Chris. If there's anybody that you want to get a question answered from, now, granted, he is a very busy guy, but come on. Ask him a smart question and you'll get a brilliant answer. But don't go it alone. Chris, as you just heard, said his number one piece of advice is to surround yourself with world-class talent. And I would endorse that. You just heard from world-class talent Chris Hessler, CEO of many companies, and now on his next adventure. Chris, thanks for taking time. We'll end this broadcast, and I'd encourage our audience to reach out and remain in contact with Chris. Thanks, Chris. See ya. Okay.